There's something most people never realize until it's too late. They spend their entire lives chasing happiness, believing it is something they will one day arrive at, yet they never truly experience it in a lasting way. Not because happiness is impossible, but because they have been trained to look for it in the wrong place. From the young age, you were conditioned to believe that happiness is a reward. You were told that when you succeed, then you will feel good. When you have money, then peace will come. When life becomes perfect, then joy will stay. But reality proves something different. There are people who have everything the world calls success, yet they feel empty inside. And there are people with very little who carry a deep, unshakable peace. So the real question is not how to get happiness, but what system is controlling your experience, and whether that system can be changed. Because the truth is, happiness is not something you chase. It is something you build. It is a code. Every human being is running a hidden pattern, a silent script that plays in the background of their life. It sounds simple, but it is powerful. I will be happy when I get the job, when I make more money, when I find the right relationship, when things finally go my way. This pattern feels logical, but it is deceptive because the when never ends. The moment you reach one level, your mind quietly moves the target forward. What once felt like success becomes normal, and what was once exciting becomes expected. So you enter a loop without realizing it. You chase something, you achieve it, you feel good for a moment, and then the feeling fades. Then you start chasing again. This is not failure. This is programming, and anything that is programmed can be reprogrammed. To understand why this happens, you need to understand your brain. Your brain was not designed to make you happy. It was designed to keep you alive. That means it is constantly scanning for problems, noticing what is missing, and remembering negative experiences more strongly than positive ones. Even when things are going well, your brain will still find something to worry about, something to fix, or something to improve. This is why you can be doing well and still feel unsettled. It is why you can achieve something important and still feel like it is not enough. Your system is not broken. It is simply operating on survival mode. And if you do not consciously train it, it will keep pulling you back into stress, comparison, and dissatisfaction, no matter how much your external life improves. This creates what I call the happiness loop. A thought enters your mind that says you are not where you should be. That thought creates a feeling of pressure or anxiety. That feeling drives you into action, pushing you to work harder, compare more, or chase something new. You get a result, and for a moment you feel relief or excitement. But that feeling does not last, because your brain resets and produces another thought that says it is still not enough. Then the cycle repeats. Over time, this loop becomes your lifestyle. You become productive, but not peaceful. You become successful, but not satisfied. And the dangerous part is that it looks normal, because almost everyone is living this way. Now, here is where everything begins to change. The problem is not your life. The problem is your relationship with your thoughts. Most people believe their thoughts automatically, without question. If the mind says something is wrong, they feel it must be true. If the mind says they are behind, they react as if it is reality. But your thoughts are not facts. They are interpretations. They are patterns, and you have the ability to observe them instead of becoming them. The moment you begin to separate yourself from your thoughts, you create space. And in that space, something powerful happens. You begin to experience peace, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer controlled by every mental noise. When you shift into awareness, your nervous system begins to calm. Instead of reacting automatically, you start responding consciously. You are no longer pulled by every fear or driven by every comparison. This is where real power begins, because happiness is not found in controlling your external world. It is found in mastering your internal state. And that state is shaped by what you focus on, what you repeat, and what you believe about yourself. But awareness alone is not enough. You must also introduce meaning. One of the deepest truths about happiness is that it does not come from comfort. It comes from meaning. People who avoid difficulty often feel empty, while people who carry purpose, even in challenging situations, feel alive. Meaning gives direction to your life. It tells your mind that what you are doing matters. And when something matters, your system engages differently. You are no longer just existing. You are contributing, building, and growing. This is why two people can go through the same situation and one feels broken while the other feels strengthened. The difference is meaning. Once awareness and meaning are in place, the next level is habits. Happiness is not built in one big moment. It is built in small daily repetitions. What you do consistently shapes how you feel consistently. If you constantly focus on what is missing, you train your brain to feel lack. If you intentionally focus on what is working, you train your brain to recognize value. If you take time to slow down, reflect, and reset, your nervous system learns safety instead of stress. These small actions may seem simple, but they are powerful because repetition creates identity. And identity is the final layer. At the deepest level, you do not behave based on what you want. You behave based on who you believe you are. If you believe you are someone who is always struggling, your mind will keep creating experiences that match that belief. If you believe you are someone who is grounded, growing, and in control of your inner world, your behavior begins to align with that identity. So real happiness is not about fixing your life. It is about redefining yourself. It is about becoming the kind of person who generates peace, regardless of circumstances. This is the full happiness code. Awareness breaks the illusion. Meaning gives direction. Habits create stability. Identity locks it in. When these four work together, your life begins to change from the inside out. You stop chasing happiness because you realize it was never outside of you. You stop waiting for the perfect moment because you learn how to create the right state. And you stop being controlled by life because you understand how to control your response to it. At this point, everything becomes different. You can still pursue success, but you are no longer dependent on it for your peace. You can still set goals, but you are not empty without them. You can still grow, but you are not broken in the process. You become stable internally and effective externally. And that is the real goal. Not just to live, but to live with clarity, calm, and control. So from today, stop asking when happiness will come. Instead, start asking what system you are running. Because once you change the system, you change your experience. And when you change your experience, you change your life. This is not motivation. This is reprogramming.